I haven't been looking for landmarks. I've been hopping from trail to trail. I don't know where I'm going and I don't know where I am. Which is funny because if I find a great camp, I'm not entirely certain I'll be able to find it again for a future episode. Alright, I'm here at the station today and I've got a meal that I'm excited to try. Fully cooked, filled wraps, shelf-stable, seasoned beef with Mexican-style spices in flour tortillas. That's what we got today. But, probably hearing all that rustling. I also got some tin foil. I'm thinking that today, the way that I want to cook this is on the engine. So I guess there's a whole community of people that do this and call it, you know, manifold cooking or manifold camping, manifold heating, whatever it is you want to call it. I got the idea from a viewer of the show, a trusted worker here at the station, Air Force veteran. So Dennis, this one is for you. When I've done this in the past, I haven't cared too much about my safety, so I didn't have tinfoil, but I am going to use tinfoil today. So let's take a look at what we got, just uncooked. Really cakey. It looks like two little mini burritos. So what I'm going to do is put them on that just so the grime of the engine doesn't get on it. Leave it open. Leave the tinfoil open, that is. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to. Because I'm going to close the hood to keep all the air in. Down she goes. Gonna do basically my whole shift today before going out. And we'll see how it works. Just gotta make sure that I remember not to drive with it still in there. Alright, it's been a couple hours. One thing I didn't think of when I was doing it, I ran the car so that the engine would be hot, but then I didn't leave the car running. Yeah, I'm a big dummy. Big old dummy. This didn't do much anything at all. But what I can do is, during the trip out into the woods, at least the drive up there, I can toss it in the front. See if the heat from the sun through the windshield helps. And we'll just try this experiment again. Another time. I'm feeling less stupid. One way or the other though, even if it's cold, I'm looking forward to trying this. Alright, to be fair, I did cheat a little bit. I did have the hot air defrost on the entire time. We'll see if that helped. There's something so soothing to me to be in the forest on a cool day, particularly on a cool day, and particularly a forest with a lot of evergreens and coniferous trees. I don't know why, but that does something to me. Even if I'm stressing about something, worried about something at work, worried about something with my life. Oh, it's like you get a chance to breathe. I was at a theme park the other day, walking around all day. I mean walking around all day. I remember thinking, like, you can check your steps, and somebody with me had the ability to do that. I remember thinking, golly, we must have gotten 20,000 steps today. Because they say, 10,000 steps per day is what you're supposed to do to be healthy. And all day walking around, we got like 6,000 steps. Which made me wonder, right? Like, how often, if you've ever done this, I know I have, if you think about the expectation of 10,000 steps. And then you say to yourself, ah, geez, I probably got at least close. I'm not too far away. Just in my day-to-day life. It's like, no, dude. You are. I bet you are. Now, people whose jobs involve walking, which mine does once a week, but I mean people whose jobs really involve walking, you probably hit it. But office work, man, I'm fixing to get myself a tracker because I bet I am so much further away from that than I need to be. And I go to the gym regularly. But not regularly enough to counter missing 50,000 steps a week. Just come across where we did the taco episode. That made a great episode camp back up against there. But I think I'm going to go deeper today. And if not, Old Faithful, I'll come back here. Actually, as I remember it, pretty sure this trail just dies. And that's why I came back, because I wasn't going to set that up as camp. Maybe we forge our own trail. Check out how bright that is. Ooh, that looks mighty poison. I wonder what it is. Mushrooms and fungi in general are so crazy. Because they're not plant, they're not animal, they're somewhere in between. Seemingly hyper intelligent for whatever it is. The ability to either kill you, sustain you, or provide you with access to ethereal everything and nothing all at once. And there's a function, I don't know if it's mycelium or what, but there's a function of, at the very least, a mushroom or fungus that I saw once, where it very simply is, much like electricity, the path of least resistance. And so it'll expand and grow, with that being its MO, the path of least resistance. And I have had a theory for a while that, isn't that what we're all doing? The path of least resistance to acquire satiating resources and reproduce. And everything at the end of the day is that. And if you could zoom in on an absolutely insane level to the minutia of every tiny little piece of any decision, I think it still comes down to that. So for example, I feel as if there's something on my face and I want to brush it off. So I'm going to brush it off. That amount of energy, I theorize, is less than the amount of energy that would be expelled by experiencing that discomfort until it was over. Because you can't really gauge how long that'll be over, but it's on your face, it's foreign, it's probably going to last a while. If it got there, it would need a force to get it out of there too. I want to catch a snake. But at any rate, the things that we say, the choices that we make on any scale, from touching your face versus not touching your face, down to who we associate with, what we say when we associate with them, what dinner choices we make, is all long-term path of least resistance. The grand scale of a whole lifetime, compounding formula for the path of least resistance. And I've theorized that there are mushrooms that can rewire synapse connections in such a way that it can catch baked in decisions that are trauma responses that are, bonded into who we are based off of a need, a situational need, circumstantial need, but an external force creating this within us. And it can break those systems because at the end of the day, what it is trying to do is find the path of least resistance. And I think that is why there's a lot of evidence to suggest that psilocybin mushrooms are good for long-term antidepressant use. It's risky biscuits. It's having an audience with the divine, but it's almost like taking a bone that's broken and been set wrong, then re-breaking it so you can set it right. I think it is fascinating that there are plants that just grow that do that have that interconnectedness with people and with the way that our brains work, that they can have a profound effect for an entire lifetime of decision making. And you could extrapolate off of that. Is that what we evolved from? Is that part of what we evolved from? Terence McKenna has the stoned ape theory, which, and I'm gonna really ruin it here, but is basically as the habitat for our monkey ancestors changed, so did where they acquired their food source. And those monkeys eventually acquired psilocybin mushrooms, which bridged the gap between, conscious, sentient, sure, but deliberate sentience with the nearly fractal way that we perceive information as Homo sapiens. That is interesting to me. Last episode, I got lost on accident. And if I get lost this time, again, it'll be on accident, but there's part of me on a subconscious level that I'm now articulating consciously. Part of me that kind of wants to get lost. I haven't been looking for landmarks. I've been hopping from trail to trail. I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I am. Which is funny, because if I find a great camp, I'm not entirely certain I'll be able to find it again for a future episode, but we've only ever doubled up on camp once, so no harm there. I will tell you, for sure, heating up today's meal in the various foolish ways that I tried, absolutely quantifiably for sure did not work. I haven't even tried them yet, and I know that to be true. But that's fine. We'll do some manifold cooking another time. Give you all the more reason to watch the next episode. You know what's funny? I literally just got done saying that I don't usually double up on camps. But I found a fork in the trail that I recognized. So we're gonna end up right back where we did the humanitarian aid pack. I wonder if any of what I spit out is still over here. When you find two tree limbs crossed like this, where you've got a backrest and arm support for each arm, it's hard to pass that up as camp. Sorry for doubling down, but boy, is this cozy. This is also the location where I discovered that sun butter and the strawberry jam works really good on the crackers as like a PB&J. So it only makes sense that I start today not with the entree, which has been already taken out of the bag in a foolish attempt to heat, Not with the dessert, which I think will be fun, but with another set of crackers. And this time, cheese spread with bacon. I think that'll be pretty good. The mosquitoes seem to think so as well. We'll try to keep them at bay as long as we can. I don't want to use bug spray, but we'll see. Maybe I will. Alright, getting into these crackers. So I remember 2 big ones that you can break into 4s. Look at that. These are all in one piece this time. And then the cheese spread with bacon. First ingredient, white cheddar cheese. That's wild. I would not have expected that. I wonder if you guys can hear the mosquitoes. They are ready to rock and roll. Alright, tore it a bit out the corner. I'm going to just lay it out like this. It says with bacon, and I suppose technically it is. Alright. For the sake of brevity, I'm going to just put this on top and then smush it back and forth. Break some of it off. And boom, we got a delicacy. Don't your kids eat these? Jeez Louise. Oh, murderous rage it gives me, but alright, here we go. You immediately taste the bacon right out of the gate. The bacon is strong with this one. First thing in the morning, you don't have any food. You do have crackers. You do have cheese spread. You're like, damn it, I wish I could just have some bacon for breakfast. Here you are, buddy. Bacon for breakfast. And very potent and easy form. Would not have expected it to be this bacon forward. Cheese is smooth, cheese is salty. Bacon is the primary flavor. Eight out of 10. Mosquitoes like it too. Alright, I just sprayed everywhere around me with mosquito spray, so I got everything except for me. Hopefully that'll take the edge off a little bit. Or maybe that'll just make me the safe haven against it. But next up, we got our entree. And before we get there, actually, I'll tell you what we got for dessert after. Apple turnover. Best used by March 28th, 2028. Nice, we got 3 years to go on this thing. I haven't always gotten that lucky with these. So, the entree is essentially, as I understand it, like somewhere between a taco and a burrito. Packed, ready to go. I don't know if it has cheese. It looks like it has cheese. But basically all I need is tortilla, meat, and that good old taco flavor. I anticipate that this is gonna deliver. Hard to screw it up. You could have a paste, and if it tasted like tacos. You can think of a restaurant that does that. Alright, here we go. Cheers. I've noticed a lot of fake taco things do this, and this one's doing it too. There's a lot of tomato doing heavy lifting here. Like, is part of the creation of the taco filling using tomato paste? I don't know, but that's what it seems like. I don't know that. If you gave me this, you didn't tell me what it was. Said, guess which country's or culture's cuisine is trying to emulate. Guess which one? I don't know that I'd be able to tell you. My first thought might be spicy Italian. Take a look at that. I don't know if I can focus on it, but from there it looks a little bit like it is maybe meat, but to my eyes, it's all paste. Somewhere between paste and beef jerky. Paste jerky. That was my nickname back in the day. Not true. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. You got a long trek ahead of you. You have the option for beef jerky or this. Or you can just pull this out of a pocket, munch on it as you're going. Easy peasy. No worries, no cleanup, no nothing. I would pick this half the time. So if that's the case, I gotta grade it the same as I would grade beef jerky. Half the time means it's just as good, right? I give beef jerky an 8. Why wouldn't I give this an 8? I cannot give this an 8. So that logic doesn't work. I can give it a soft 7. Granted, I was really excited for it. But yeah. Does it feel like home? Which I've used quite a bit in this series as a way to gauge if it works? No, not at all. Does it satiate you easily on the move with a little bit of kick, whereas you wouldn't otherwise be getting kick? Sure. 7 out of 10. Will I trade my last dry sock for it? No. If I had 2 dry socks though, I might. And that leaves us with dessert for today. Apple turnover. I think that'll be pretty good. I need some water though after that last meal before we get to that. I thought I could get away with it, but no, man. Nothing but salt and heat. There ain't nothing wrong with that, but you do need some water. If I want to give this apple turnover its best chance, gotta go in with a clean palate. I love the way it feels. Squishy. It's always a good sign. These things can so easily just get rock hard. Look at that. Like a fat Pop-Tart. It smells good. It smells more like maybe apricot than apple. But it's soft. Seemingly got chunks of fruit there. Let's give it a try. Okay. Don't let this spit take misguide you. There's nothing wrong with it. But that was all bread, which would have been fine and was what I was expecting until I realized that there's a filling. So I'm not going to waste my first impression on the bread when there's a filling. So let's try that. Chunks of apple in there. Gives it a fun texture. Nothing wrong with this. It's dry, but it would be. Do I love it? No. Would I love it in the right situation? Oh yeah. Something about soft. Soft and cinnamon. Put you at ease. Alright, one more bite. And I'm done with it. Apple turnover, 7.5. Not a bad haul. Not a bad haul. And golly, is this not as comfortable as I've ever been. I found myself wanting to go back to the bacon, cheese, and crackers. Makes me wonder how much expectations play into this. Because you expect nothing from something like this, right? You can only be pleasantly surprised. And I am. And I was. Whereas you got something that's trying to posture as a burrito. Probably going to be a little disappointed. It's weird that that's always where food catches in my beard. Something about that. Salty, smooth, a little smoky. That's the winner today. Cheese spread on crackers with bacon. Big winner. All in all, I think my takeaway from today is just an expression of gratitude. I'm grateful that I have the chance to do this. I'm grateful that I live in a place where this is accessible and comfortable. I get to do it as part of my job. I'm grateful for the stations across the country that have syndicated this program and are airing it on their television channels. And I'm grateful to those that are watching. And if you are watching, thanks for coming along. If you have the ability, I'd encourage you to maybe go out and do some of this. And if not, well, I'm glad to be the person that you live vicariously through in the process. If there's time, I'm going to end with a time lapse of the walk back. And just once again, I'm grateful. Thank you.